Hello Reformers and welcome back to Prophecy of Pendor. Now when we left off we were dismantling the D'Shar very effectively indeed. Now they only have one town and a handful of castles remaining, and then, well, then we're going to be faced with Ravenstern and the Empire. Now of course the Empire are very much on the back foot. They are not really going to pose too much of a threat going forward, which I think is pretty nice. And as you can see, I have actually returned to Seven Cross Keep, because I thought to myself, okay, it's been quite some time, maybe my my knighthood order has done a little bit of training, and maybe I have a couple of... yes I do. I have 45 additional Earls of Grey, which is pretty nice, and I'm actually wondering, do we have any biscuits? It doesn't seem like we have any biscuits. I'm actually kind of surprised. Okay, not exactly. Wait a minute. Did I miss them? Wait, what are they called again? They're called Biscuit of Rich Tea. Okay. Gotta make sure that I'm looking out for that, because basically what I wanted to do here is I just wanted to show you exactly what's going on in my garrison. I actually have a whole bunch of Larian Sentinels, so if we do need some additional units at, in a pinch, then we can basically just go and get those guys, no problem at all. So yeah, it seems like I actually have no biscuits whatsoever. I'm actually kind of surprised at that. Very surprised indeed. Okay, so it appears, unless I have absolutely missed them and I am having some problems with my eyes, no, it should be fine. So I'm actually just going to take a couple of extra Earls of Grey here, and then we're going to be traveling back to D'Shar territory. You know, it's just one of those things when you are attempting to do a siege and you think to yourself, whoa, there's really not that many units in that particular garrison, you know? You can pretty much easily murder these guys, and that seems to be the case most of the time now in Pendor. Gotta be a bit careful here, though. I gotta be a bit careful because you never know, the D'Shar Desert Hunters, even though they are not exactly, well, they're not exactly the most amazing units ever, they can still deal damage, They can still deal damage, so it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to look out for as we do this particular siege here. I'm trying to get a couple more kills. I did advance to level 42, by the way, and I have spec'd my points into... Oh, what did I actually spec into? Because I actually did that at the end of the previous episode. Well, I have no idea. It was some combat skill or another, so whatever that is, whatever it was, maybe it was Power Strike or Power Draw. I hope it wasn't Power Draw. If it was Power Draw, then I made a bit of an error, because my bow already does a significant amount of damage, so it really isn't even necessary for me to upgrade that any further. But okay, yeah, that's... seemingly fine, I suppose. Seemingly fine. I mean, I don't really mind either way. Beartilt's pretty good the way he is. And if I actually am able to get any additional levels, which is, I'd say, probably unlikely at this point. I mean, let's face it, we are level 42. I think it's going to be extremely difficult, if not kind of impossible, unless I get a huge amount of kills in some particular way, to get level 43. It's always very difficult once you get to level... Actually, once you get to level 35. I was going to say 40, but once you get to 35, it's pretty difficult to level up unless you are getting a huge amount of kills per battle. And obviously, you're going to get quite a few if you have rune weapons or, whatever the case, relatively decent high-tier gear. So, yeah, that's kind of what Beartilt's doing right now. He's pretty good. He's not particularly awful by any means, and his equipment is pretty good too, so I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, he is using the second best armor, or maybe the third best armor in the game. I think it's probably the second best armor in the game, so I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. But obviously the main thing that we've got to consider is the fact that the enemies are going to not really give us that much experience, because they are pretty low tier. Most of these guys are pretty low tier, with the exception of obviously Scorpion Assassins or Scorpion Scions or whatever the case. And I'm hopeful that Did I do a good job here? No, I did not. I did not do a good job with my formation right here. So I'm actually just going to tell everyone to hold position here. Let's get our archers in the front. And we'll just get our cavalry there, because basically I only have... Whoa, I have 127 cavalry. Okay. That's kind of insane. We've already killed 144 enemies and lost 0. Yeah, that's kind of the point. That is kind of the point, isn't it? Think I might end up skipping some of the other castle sieges because, well, we've basically shown that we are very, very powerful, and unless there are a huge amount of vassals inside that particular Oh, hello. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. Those guys seem to be kind of busy, don't they? Seem to be very busy indeed. Oh, don't shoot me, please. I'd appreciate it. Oh, he parried me. What a skillful individual. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so let me see if I can just do a little bit of extra damage here. I'm gonna die. I think I am gonna die. I mean, that's basically how it goes. Maybe? Maybe I can actually survive. Do you think I can actually survive this? It's unlikely. This guy's gonna take me. No, he's not. This guy's continuing to throw his weapons at me. I'm actually kind of surprised I'm still alive. Let's try and push them off, shall we? Yes, this is what you get. Yes, there we go. You're dead. I'm still alive? Now I'm dead. There we go. Thank you. I was like, what's happening here? I seem to be casting some sort of invincibility spell on myself. But no, of course not. Of course not. Okay, well, whatever the case, my people are now going to start going in here. I probably should have told them to charge in beforehand, but you know me, I generally wanted to try and make sure that they used all of their arrows beforehand, because if they didn't, then it's going to be one of those times where I wish I had really, you know, put them into a better formation so that they could utilize their ranged abilities much, much better. Speaking of ranged, I'm a bit worried about this. Do they still have arrows? I'll tell you why I'm checking in just a second, but I'm hopeful. Yes, it seems like some of them do still have arrows because, as you can see, there's actually a contingent of archers in this archery nest here, and I'm not surprised that I actually took a huge amount of damage while I was on the ladder because these guys were probably shooting me, and I didn't see them. So that's obviously a bit of an issue, and I'm hopeful that we won't have to go through the entirety of the keep to reach those archers, so I'm hopeful that we do have a couple of ranged units still with ammunition, because if we don't, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to have to run through the entirety of it and continue getting shot. Wow, I'm actually really impressed. I mean, obviously I should be impressed with our own Knighthood Order units, but you can see here, look at that, did you see that? These guys are actually shooting from all the way over there and hitting these guys. How long do you think this guy's going to live? I'm going to estimate the next 3 seconds. Yep, there we go. I tried to speak quickly. I know it's difficult for me, and if I do speak a little bit too slowly, there's a tip for you. You know what you can do? You can actually increase the speed of the video slightly. You know, you can just put it on 1.25 or something, and I actually sound normal then, you know? I sound relatively normal in my speech pattern. Isn't that wonderful? Ah, yes. Great. Well, it's nice that there's actually an option to do that at the very least. Anyway, 36 renown. Pretty awesome right there. Pretty awesome to get that. 34 kills, almost the same as the amount of renown we gained. And we will now move onward. And, yeah, I think what I'm going to do with this Qualis gem is I'm either going to get a secondary rune weapon. In other words, if I think I can. I think someone actually did mention in the comments that you can get a second rune weapon. So in that case, I'll probably get the Sapphire Axe or something along those lines. That's probably going to be the go-to weapon of choice for me. And, yeah, and then hopefully upgrade that, because I need to get another Qualis gem to be able to do that, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. But anyway, the point is that if I don't go for a rune weapon, then I will go for something like, what can I think of here? I probably build another Knighthood Order, because someone actually did mention that that's a pretty decent thing to do as well, because what that will do is that will actually give you automatic recruitment of your Knighthood Order units, and I think that that's fantastic. I mean, really, that is just so good to do that. And we're not going to be requesting this, thank you very much. I really don't want it. Ishkoman has been awarded to Duke Brennus, which is fantastic, perfectly fine with me, and I would actually like to attack these guys on the field. Let's do it. Let's do this. Okay, so it looks like a lot, doesn't it? They have 852, and we have 270. Personally, I feel like we should be fine, because if we have a hill or something... Oh, I'm a bit injured. I'm not a big fan of that, but thankfully Anson's first aid skill has done a massive amount of work on my injuries, and I should be absolutely fine. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to hold fire. Yes, can you believe it? Can you believe it? I'm actually using some sort of tactic. Wow, amazing. I know. Alright, so otherwise what we're going to do, we're up against 266 enemy units. Ah yes, I did neglect to change my battle size, so we might have a couple of stutters. If you do see some stuttering, then I apologize. But yeah, my PC's pretty old, so that's probably the reason for it. Anyway, let's... do I have any infantry? Yeah, I've got 12 infantry. Okay, well that's not even a big deal, really. Okay, so let's put my cavalry here. Do I have any better formations than what I currently have? Not really. I'm hopeful that they will just walk towards me. Let's put my cavalry down there a little bit, put the archers behind them, and... You know what I'm thinking of doing? I'm thinking of actually dismounting most of our cavalry, but I don't really want to do that in case we actually need to go in and do some damage, you know? Whether we need to charge in or something like that, maybe utilize the advanced horse archer AI or something like that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try and... Are they actually moving towards us? I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't move towards us, because we are technically the outnumbered party, you know, we are technically the person or people that are going to be having a bit of a problem on the numbers side, so I'm not entirely sure why they're not coming towards us. Am I going to need to move towards them? Well, how tedious of them. They're doing this exactly how they are meant to, because they're wanting to test our resolve. They're wanting to test our patience. And I'm not a big fan of that, thank you very much. I'd like to have a slightly easier time, but well, let's see if we can actually do something here. Maybe what we can do is try and get most of our people on the hill over here. And then we'll see what we can do with that. This looks like a pretty fantastic position, actually. So, I technically, if I could, would go to the top of this. You know what? I'm gonna be fiendish. I'm gonna be fiendish right here. So let's do this. Let's go with everyone on the top of this hill. And I wouldn't actually call it a hill. I'd call it a mountain. I'd call it a mountain right now. And let's have a look and see what we're capable of doing here. So let's get our cavalry into a decent enough position. Let's get our archers around here, cavalry around here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to tell everyone to fire at will. Oh yes, that is exactly what we're going to do. This is going to absolutely destroy the enemy in every single way, or at least it should. It should do that. But obviously I have no idea. I mean, maybe it won't. But from my perspective, it is going to be amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of frame drops right here, so that's a bit of an issue. But well, I can't really do much about that now, unfortunately. But I'm just going to try my best, and it seems like, yeah, they're doing some weird stuff right now. I'm not entirely sure what they're deciding to do here. So let's just tell them to advance 10 paces a little bit here as well, and. You know what? Maybe I should just tell my cavalry to charge in, because they're going to have the advanced horse archer AI, and they'll probably be able to murder in every single way as a result of it. So let's do that. Why not? Let's charge in our cavalry and see what happens. Charge in our infantry as well. We're going to try and micromanage our archers a little bit better. And yeah, I mean, you can see here that the enemy's archers, are they okay? Yeah. I mean, they're seemingly fine. I mean, we're absolutely murdering them in every single way, and as you can see, we have a number of our people going to go around the small contingent, it's actually a pretty large contingent, of enemy infantry and archers, and they are just going to get picked apart, absolutely picked apart right here. Speaking of being picked apart, I am actually going to die, I think. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to play when there's a huge amount of, like, stuttering and stuff, so... That is a pretty unfortunate thing about larger battle sizes for me at the moment. So I think what I'm going to try to do is just kind of survive at the moment. How many have we killed so far? 157 already? I'm surprised. Very surprised. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to retreat. I'm actually going to retreat. For the main reason that I want to reduce the battle size, because we are doing very well on a high battle size, but I'm unable to do anything, and that's not very fun. So, I'm going to reduce the battle size and then we'll head in once again. Alright, so at least we're still gaining a pretty significant amount of renown from this fight, because I actually wanted to gain, what was it now, 131 renown or something like that from the previous battle, so it would have been really nice to actually get that, but unfortunately, due to stuttering and all that stuff, I had to do that, because the video is not going to be that watchable as a result. It's going to be kind of a little bit choppy, so I apologize for that, but that's just how it is when you're playing multiple mods, and some mods tend to have a higher default max battle size than the regular size, because I'm currently playing 3 different mods and they all have different battle sizes, so obviously that's a bit of an issue. But anyway, what I'm going to do this time around is I'm basically just going to keep everyone in the exact same position that they are right here, because as you can see, we're on a pretty amazing vantage point, and telling our people to charge in is not going to give us any favors, basically. So we're just going to try and make sure that we keep this advantage as much as possible, and the enemy can do what they want, you know? They can circle around us, they can, you know, go wherever they like, and it's not going to do anything because our guys are just going to be so incredibly accurate. Speaking of accuracy, let's try and do some damage. Oh, that's 43? What did I hit? Are you serious? That guy took it like a champ, like no one's business. I'm actually kind of surprised. How did he do that? I have no idea. How did that fellow survive? A shot from a ruby rune bow. He must have some really, really good armor. Anyway, let's tell our people to advance 10 paces. That's a trick that actually someone told me about. If your cavalry are not facing the right direction, then a good way to do it is literally just to select them, go to formation orders, and then just go advance 10 paces. So thanks very much for that hint, because I'm always looking for those small little quality of life improvements that will give me that slight edge, you know, that slight edge in battle, and that's always nice. So thank you very much for that. Anyway, we are still on this amazing hill, and you can see we've already eliminated 115 of the opponent. I'm actually wondering, this is a bit of an issue now, because I kind of want to charge in, because we should theoretically be much better in every single respect in terms of horse archery than the opponent. So technically we should be able to win in that regard as well as stationary archery. So not entirely sure whether we should do that or not, but at the moment I'm kind of leaning towards it in a way, but I kind of want to maybe wait until they receive reinforcements first, because it depends. Maybe I'll get myself killed doing a little bit of attacking of my own, and as a result they will just charge in automatically. So that might make a bit of sense, but yeah, what? Why are they running around with town militia and things? Well, I suppose they have a wide variety of different units and everything. You know what? Let's just charge in. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I mean, we're going to charge everyone except the archers, of course. We're not going to charge the archers because everyone's in range pretty nicely here. If they do get out of range, then I will, of course, modify their orders accordingly. But I think getting our people in there and getting them killing things is probably going to make more of a difference than maybe potentially them not actually even firing, you know, because sometimes cavalry tends to have a bit of a weird behavior when it comes to shooting stationary. So hopefully that's going to help, and otherwise I'm pretty good. Pretty good right here. So let's see if I can maybe survive against this Singalian Temptress. You will not tempt me, Temptress, thank you very much. Although maybe you will next time, because they are very, very powerful. Or at the very least, when don't they come with lances? I think sometimes they come with lances and sometimes they don't come with lances. So maybe it's just a random chance. But if they have a lance, they probably are going to murder me. So they will definitely have my number then. Anyway, yes, this is a bloodbath, an absolute bloodbath, and well, I wouldn't have it any other way, because if we can eliminate these D'Shar vassals right here, we're going to have a significant advantage going forward, eliminating their castles and indeed their towns as well, because if they are all in the same garrison, you know what's going to happen? It's going to be terrible. It's going to be absolutely awful for us. So having these guys be eliminated here is going to be really very good for us. So let's see if I can maybe survive against this horse archer. You know me, I'm very bad against horse archers in general, as you can no doubt tell. I have to be extremely lucky, basically. Ah, look, there's a Singalian. Is that a Singalian Temptress with a lance? Is it? No, it doesn't look like a lance. It looks like a polearm of some kind, but it's a slashing weapon more than a thrusting weapon. So that's pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we are going to be pretty fine here. I'm going to tell my archers to charge in now as well, and I guess we'll just wait and see what happens. I think this is probably the last remaining units in this attack wave. Alright, so that looks like the end of this attack wave, and 86 renown, which is probably one of the greatest renown rewards that we have ever gotten in Pendor so far. And there's 449 enemies eliminated. Now, there are another 238 here. These guys are going to melt. They are literally going to melt like a snowman in summer. It is really not going to be very pretty for them whatsoever. So let's just get a very aggressive stance going on here. We're going to just move straight up and take a significant advantage over our opponent, and they're not going to want to move. That's the point. They're not going to want to move whatsoever. So I'm going to try and take an aggressive posture here against them and try to force them into some kind of action, because you can already see we're already getting kills. If every single one of our Earls of Grey is able to kill about 5 units, we have how many of them? 50? So yeah, pretty insane death toll just literally from our Earls of Grey. And of course we do have our Biscuits of Rich Tea too, and they are also capable of doing their own amounts of damage. And we've already eliminated about 30 enemies. So it seems like most of the enemy's cavalry has been eliminated, which is pretty fantastic, because that means we won't have to really worry about too many enemy horse archers, or indeed worry about lancers either. And obviously lancers are the biggest worry for me in general, but yeah, usually if they do have oh look, they actually do have a couple of cavalry here, and they're actually being a bit weird in their behavior, because they've already sent off their horse archers to, you know, circle around us. As you can see, there's a couple of them there on the map, but they are being eliminated. As you can see, they're actually disappearing from the battle map as our Earls of Grey are killing them. So that's pretty nice. And I suppose there's nothing else for me to do but tell everyone, and I'm talking about everyone here, to charge in. And then once they have charged, it will be a relatively simple endeavor to murder them all. Now, going forward, what I'm going to do in Pendor is basically eliminate the D'Shar, and then I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait a little bit at Seven Cross Keep. I think I might establish another knighthood order if I am... do I own anything else, by the way? I think I might own another castle, but I don't remember whether I own any other fiefs, because if I own another fief, then it might make sense for me to establish another knighthood order there, because in the grand scheme of things, what is going to win me more battles? More custom knighthood order units, or a rune weapon? Well, rune weapon does make a pretty significant difference. Don't get me wrong, it does make a pretty huge difference actually, but in the grand scheme of things, you're going to get much more benefit out of being able to automatically produce custom knighthood order units than you will ever get from a rune weapon. Even if it is maybe a sapphire ruby rune axe. Oh wow, wouldn't that be insane? A sapphire ruby rune axe. Yes, let's wow, let's not even think about the implications of being able to combine gems together on one weapon. That would be crazy. Anyway, the point is, I think the custom knighthood order is probably going to be my choice going forward, because then if one of the other factions decides to declare war against the Kingdom of Sarlian, then of course I will go and attempt to eliminate them as well. But I think personally, we probably have this in the bag. I think we probably have the entirety of Pendor conquered with the Kingdom of Sarlian perfectly tied up, personally. I think we probably do. Anyway, we are going to let this guy go because I want more honor. We're basically going to let everyone go, if we can. And, ooh, look at that. Frederick actually gained himself a new horse. That's pretty nice. So this southern glaive, that is actually the glaive that the Singalian Temptresses use, as far as I'm aware. So that's pretty interesting, because you can't use a, you can't use it on horseback. And they are usually on horseback, so that's kind of a bit of a weird choice, but there you go. Alright, so we have improved our... Ooh, yes, more maiden cavalry. Give me those. Thank you very much. And let's get some more war priests as well. And we do have another couple of spaces here as well, but what do I want to go for? I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe Rogue Blackheart Squires? They might level up into knights eventually at some point. I guess I'll just leave it. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave the rest, and maybe we can decide if we want to get any more people. Do I just want some No, I don't want any mercenaries. Look at my wages at the moment. It's just absolutely insane. So I'm just going to take the prisoners. And that is it. Now you can see here, this is exactly what they have left. So they just have Torba, and they just have 2 castles. And that is literally it. Oh, they actually have 3 castles. Oh, look at that. I think that's very lightly defended, that one over there, though. So that should be pretty easy for me to take. So what I'm going to do is, basically, I'm going to take Torba. I will take that in the next episode, and then... basically what we'll do then is I will probably then just go off screen, take these 2, and then we will take the last castle, which is probably going to be this one over here, because that's probably going to be the one with the lowest garrison, and then we'll see what happens after that. But from my perspective, I think we've got this pretty much in the bag. I thank you very much for watching and for joining me, and I will see you next time.